You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 279 of Podketeers. In this episode, we try to bring the adventure as we armchair Imagineer Adventureland. Rise of the Resistance gets an opening date. Paul Rudd, yes, Ant-Man, might be a little insane, but we love him for it. We'll tell you why in this episode. Plus, we have some Team Boat Willie updates regarding our fundraising efforts to support cancer research and treatments at City of Hope. In case you don't know, we also started an Instagram account for Team Boat Willie. It's at Team Boat Willie. Super easy to remember. Give us a follow and please help us spread the word of our new charity group account. You can also find out more information at teamboatwillie.com. Remember that if you have any thoughts on anything that we talk about in this episode, you can leave a comment on the blog post at podketeers.com/279, or you can join the conversation on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube. Just search for Podketeers. If you happen to be on YouTube, you like what you hear, and you like our channel, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and ring that bell icon for notifications of whenever new videos are posted. Before we kick this episode into high gear, I want to extend a huge amount of gratitude to a wonderful group of people called the FGP Squad. The FGP Squad are our podcast Fairy Godparents, and it's their generosity through their monthly contributions via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. If you like the podcast, it's a great time to join. More info on what the FGP Squad is, a link to sign up, or make a one-time donation can be found at podketeers.com/FGP. To all of the members of the FGP Squad, thank you very much for your continued support. Alright, it's time to start rolling out these blue sky ideas. Here is episode 279 of Podketeers. I gotta say, I am super happy, and I just feel fortunate that we have so much support for Team Boat Willie, because as of this episode, we are past our $1,000 goal, and we are at just over $1,100 raised for cancer research and treatments at City of Hope. How awesome is that?
Super awesome.
That's really cool.
Way to go.
Yeah, the auctions that we had put on Instagram for the Funko and the ears, quick story about that. First of all, big thank you to everyone who participated in the auctions. The first one was won by FGP Squad member Bill, and then the ears, there was kind of a bidding war towards the end, right, between FGP Squad member Bill and someone else. And unfortunately, due to a misunderstanding, we weren't able to finish the transaction for that. And unfortunately, he didn't get the ears. And I was kind of sad about it because he seemed pretty excited about it. But, per what we had listed, if for some reason that happened and they weren't able to fulfill the commitment, the auction did go to the second highest bidder. And it happened to be Bill also, who had bid
Lucky guy
on the Funko Pop. And so he ended up with both items. It was awesome. Bill's very supportive of our cancer research efforts. And so thank you so much again to everybody that participated. In case you guys are wondering, I did mention that anybody that donated to our Walk for Hope efforts, even if you donated $1, if you told us who you were donating that dollar for or whatever amount you decided to donate, we were going to put their name on like a poster thing that we're going to be carrying that day. And it's going to be everyone that we're walking in honor of or in memory of. So if you want to get in on that and you want to show your support, there's still time to donate. You can go over to the Team Boat Willie Instagram. The link is in the bio for you to make a donation. You can also go to teamboatwillie.com and you'll find a link to donate if you want to join the team and you want to walk with us that day, or if you want to just help us raise money for that day. But again, anybody that donates at least $1, you can share the person's name that you're donating in memory of or in honor of, and we will put them on the board that we will be carrying that day. Hey, you know what? I don't know if I told you guys, but do you guys watch a show called Hot Ones on YouTube?
Never heard of it.
No.
Okay, so the concept, super simple. I love this interview style. It's hosted by a gentleman named Sean Evans, really great interviewer. And the concept of the show is that there are 10 scorching hot chicken wings, each one progressively hotter than the other one. The 10th one is always some variation of the Scorpion X pepper that's, it's always the hottest on the Scoville scale. And so a couple of years ago, a coworker of mine and I were going to try to raise money for Walk for Hope by doing this chicken wings challenge. We were going to buy the pack and we were going to create our own. And for every 200 that we raised, we were going to eat the next chicken wing. And we thought it was a really cool way to raise money. So I went to my doctor and, it was regular physical and everything. And I was like, hey, we're going to do this really cool challenge. And when I told him what it consisted of, he's like, how do you like ulcers? And I said, I don't. He said, well, go through with this challenge and you will have an ulcer. I was like, but doc, there's so many people that eat this scorching hot chicken wings and this hot sauce. And he's like, yeah, no, here's the thing. Don't do it. And so unfortunately, we opted against it. But I think it would have been a really fun way to raise money. And the reason I was thinking about it was because Ant-Man himself, Paul Rudd, was on a recent episode of Hot Ones. Paul Rudd essentially, I feel, should have broken the internet. I didn't see enough about this on Twitter or anything else, so maybe I just missed it. But Paul Rudd did something that no one has ever done before. The last sauce, okay? It's called the last dab because at the end, it's customary for the guests to put one final dab of this crazy hot sauce on the wing that's already doused in this hot sauce. And Paul Rudd decided to create this pool of hot sauce by mixing all 10 and then dipping his wing. I think he was eating cauliflower because he was trying to do the vegan version. But he dipped his cauliflower and then he ate it. And I have a newfound respect for Paul Rudd because his insides are possibly going to be hurting for at least a month after eating that.
My insides hurt just thinking about it.
Right?
It's like, no.
Gavin, hot sauce challenge. Is that something you'd ever consider doing?
I would definitely give that a go, for
all
sure.
All 10 of them? You'd go all the way to the last dab for it?
Well, I don't know if I could stand it, but I'd give it a shot. Yeah, I love hot stuff.
Nice.
Brave.
Yeah, there's one sauce that I feel gets everybody, and it's called Da Bomb. Apparently, it is just liquid evil because every one of the hot sauces...
magma.
Exactly. Apparently, every one of the hot sauces has this flavor component to it, whether it's pineapples or garlic or aioli or whatever, right? So each one has a really good flavor profile until you get to the bomb. And then it's just literally you're eating poison because there's just no coming back. And that's the one that gets everybody. So the fact that he decided to even go and add the bomb after he had it and knew what it was doing to his insides. Ugh. That's a brave man. That's a brave man.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I mean, if you guys have seen Hot Ones, let us know in the comments. Join the conversation. Tell us what your favorite episode of Hot Ones is. I'd love to know. There's some pretty famous ones in there. You know, Kristen Bell has been on there and all sorts of people that are just super famous. And one day, hopefully we'll be on there. And we'll be on Hot Ones, eating the scorching chicken wings of death.
You guys will. I'll sit on the sidelines.
Well, maybe Gavin.
Ah.
Maybe Gavin and
Right?
I will do an appended version of it, like without the bomb, without the liquid evil.
Just have your phone out and dial 91, and then
Right.
just be ready to hit that other one.
I'll have the tray with all the ice, the milk, and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the craziest part. Paul Rudd had no milk, no water, nothing throughout the entire challenge.
Wow.
I know that he's insane. I'm pretty sure he's insane. But in a
I feel like he was
so
cheating, and once he put it in his mouth, he was using his tech to just shrink it down to the size of an atom, and so it was like
there you go.
it was too small to even penetrate his taste buds, so he just looked like a champ.
Very good theory.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, I got Marvel stuff rattling around up here.
Mm-hmm. The Pym particles did their job. Speaking of what's coming to California Adventure, actually what was already at California Adventure in this case, I had a chance to go down and meet up with FGP Squad member Adriana. I just want to send a quick shout out because she came down for Oogie Boogie Bash with her friend Christina. Super cool. It was really nice to see them. They came out. I didn't have a ticket, obviously, to go in to Oogie Boogie Bash, so they actually came out of the park just to kind of hang out and say hi. I was able to hand over a little bit of FGP swag, as a thank you for her support. If you guys are ever visiting, shoot us a message. If one of us or all of us are able to go and hang out or say hi, we'd love to just hang out and at least say hello. It was cool seeing Christina's costume, though, because she was dressed as Kairi from Kingdom Hearts, and she was holding on to the Destiny's Embrace Keyblade. Kingdom Hearts, I think, is getting a lot more love recently than it has been in the past. In Oogie Boogie Bash, they do have the photo op, I think, with Donald and at times Goofy, but I've seen Donald in more of the pictures. So it's been really nice to see that happening. So again, quick shout out to both of them. Really nice to meet them and say hello. Oh, by the way, Rise of the Resistance getting an opening date this week.
Finally.
Yeah, it's been announced that finally Galaxy's Edge will be a little more complete come January 17th, 2020, when Rise of the Resistance finally opens. As you may know, Bob Iger and some of the other executives from Disney have been posting photos from inside Rise of the Resistance. They've been posting cast photos. They've been just saying that they've been kind of riding through. They've been going through this process. I'm super excited. I know a little bit about the tech that's going in behind the scenes, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one more than Smuggler's Run. What about you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for sure. This is the one that everyone's waiting for. This is the one that is touted as the new bar. So absolutely, I can't wait for that date. Because, like you said, it does not feel complete yet. It still feels like a half-baked land, even though all of it's baked except for one element. But that one element is like 50% of what everybody's excited about. So, I can't wait. And, it can't come soon enough.
The Galaxy's Edge cake has a soupy center until January 17th, and that's okay because sometimes you like a soupy cake and sometimes you don't. But come January, we're going to have a full-baked cake, and I'm happy about that. Yeah.
Now I want cake.
How about a Twinkie? Will you settle for a Twinkie? That's all I have. It's a tiny snack cake. Okay. I wanted to jump into Armchair Imagineering for this episode. Before we do, we need to thank a very special group of people that is called the FGP Squad. The FGP Squad are listeners just like you who like to help us out on a monthly basis with their contributions via Patreon. If you want a little bit more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad, head on over to podketeers.com/FGP for more information on who's part of the FGP Squad, how you can join, what it's all about, and a link to make a one-time or a monthly donation. If you sign up for at least a $5 or more contribution, you do get the exclusive Fairy Godparent button as a thank you for your support. Plus, we got giveaways for the FGP Squad. We're trying to come up with a really good schedule for live streams so that we can connect with all of you, have some chats. And again, podketeers.com/FGP to all of the members of the FGP Squad. We just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. By the way, since we're Armchair Imagineering, Adventureland as you might remember, Melissa had told us about the Barker bird that existed in Adventureland outside of the Tiki Room. I found a video on YouTube of the original Barker bird. It's on our Instagram. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out at Podketeers on Instagram. It's super cool. It's a really short video, but it was really awesome to see the little Barker bird just sitting outside. It's nostalgia.
I love it. I think it's so cool. I think they could reinstall it over by the Tropical Hideaway, and he could just be directing people around the corner, you know? Like,
you just gave Heyzen an idea.
Yeah, like above that water feature at the very entrance. I think that'd be so cool.
For anyone that plays Pokemon Go, I believe that area belongs to Marowak.
That is so dorky, it's not even funny.
My Alolan Marowak disagrees.
Wow. That area belongs to Rosita, and you know it.
Okay, sure, Rosita. Okay, so let's get into Armchair Imagineering for Adventureland. I don't know about you. I didn't have that many ideas. I tried to really parse through everything. I feel like I had a lot of stuff floating around in my head. I came up with 3 fairly complete ideas. How many did you each come up with?
I've got 3.
Cool. Mel, what about you?
5?
Whoa.
It is your favorite land, so I would expect a little bit more from you. Yeah.
I could pair them up. They will make sense if I pair them up.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so rock, scissors, paper to see who goes first?
I mean, I'll go first. I don't care.
Oh, I want to play rock, scissors, paper. All right,
okay,
whatever.
You want to do rock, paper, scissors on a podcast? That'll be really entertaining for nobody to see.
It's fun for us. Ready?
Okay.
Ready? All right, here we go.
Wait, if we all 3 pick different things, we all cancel each other out. Like, this won't work 3 ways. It's a 2-person
all right, fine,
game
just go first.
Intentionally.
Just go first.
People are yelling
there
at
you
us.
go.
Okay. All right, so my first idea is basically just a classic plussing, okay? I think it's time to plus the iconic attractions of Disneyland. Sorry, not Disneyland. Well, yes, Disneyland, but specifically Adventureland. And I'm talking about the Jungle Cruise and the Tiki Room. Because after 5 and 6 decades of delighting guests, I believe we can now bring tasteful changes to these 2 beloved attractions that kind of renew the wonder. So I feel like a lot of it is to do with audio animatronics. I think we could bring updated, more expressive, more convincing audio animatronics to both the Jungle Cruise and the Tiki Room. The Tiki Room, basically everything in there is animated, and it would just be an update. With the Jungle Cruise, there's a lot of animals that just stand there, that don't move at all. So I'd like to bring some more dynamism to some of those scenes, especially like the big scenes like the African savanna. It's a whole ton of animals, and there's barely any movement until you get all the way to the end where the rhino is kind of lifting his head a little, Like, I'd really love to see some dynamic motion in that scene, like the elephant pool seems so much more alive, and the hippo area seems so much more vibrant than that area. And that's one of my favorite scenes. It's got some of my favorite animals, and there's a lot going on. A lot of the jokes that happen in there are really good. So I would just like some of that to be plussed up. I also think that in both of these attractions, they could really utilize in smart ways this new projection technology that is cropping up throughout other attractions that just give it an extra element of magic, a little added depth, some neat effects. I think they could use this a lot in the Tiki Room, and obviously they could use it to great effect at night in the Jungle Cruise. I don't know if you guys have seen footage of the Tokyo Disney version of the Jungle Cruise, but at night they bring this extra magic through projection technology, and it's incredible. It's really, really cool.
I'm going to try to find a video of this and put it in the blog post for the episode, podketeers.com/279, because like Gavin said, it is a sight to behold. I've seen it, and I'm kind of jealous that we don't have some of these effects in our Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Agreed. It's really, really cool. The other thing I would love to see is, kind of like we've seen in Pirates and even a little bit like we've seen in Mansion, it'd be nice to get maybe a new scene or maybe 2 new little vignettes in the Jungle Cruise. There's lots of space in there. I could even see one of the older ones maybe being replaced with something new. Just something a little fresh, I think we could withstand some changes like that, and still maintain the spirit and, essence of these attractions. Now, I don't want to bring Iago and Zazu back in any sort of way to the Tiki Room. I don't want to change the story there. I know we've kind of talked about some ideas there in the past, but I really just think bringing some modern special effects and techniques to these attractions would really liven them up, especially for guests that are seeing them for the first time today. We approach these with so much nostalgia that it kind of colors our view of these attractions. And for people that are experiencing it for the first time newly, they can sometimes see these as kind of dated at this point. So I'd really love to just bowl over the new audiences as much as we've been bowled over for the last many decades.
Agreed. Yeah. I especially agree with the projection stuff. I have a few scenes that I'm fairly fond of on the Jungle Cruise, but for some odd reason, the joke that always gets me and sticks out in my head is oh, look at those lions. They're taking care of that sleeping zebra.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it gets me every single time.
It's
and
good.
like when I was thinking about the additions, like how awesome would it be that you see a lion just kind of looking up towards the zebra and the rest of the pride, and all of a sudden it turns around and it growls and it's Scar that's looking at you.
Ooh.
Right? I mean, look, it's kind of an obvious tie-in, right? But you start getting into that IP territory, and I know we talked about it in the last episode. You talk about bringing some more realistic animatronics and stuff. I mean, how much more realistic can it get than adding an IP to the Jungle Cruise?
Yep.
That's right, none other than Mighty Joe Young. What? Were you guys expecting The Rock?
You had me going thinking it was something else.
Did you think I was going to put DJ in the Jungle Cruise? No.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
That's so cool. All right. Mel, what about you?
I was going to say, can I go next?
Yeah,
because I kind of wanted to plus up Jungle Cruise, and I love what Gavin started with. So I guess I could say with my ideas, it's just going to add on to his.
All right, cool.
And the first thing I wrote down was more elements. And I would like to actually be able to smell things on the attraction.
Ooh.
So, for instance, when we start, who do we see first? We see the tiger, and then we see Ginger, who snaps. What if it smelled like Ginger snaps? Right? And, you keep going, and then we see the gorillas and the overturned Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Why not make it smell like bananas?
Yep.
Okay.
Things like that, little things. Well, with elements, we got bathing Bertha. Let's add some water. I mean, you're on a cruise. You're in the jungle. You're going to get wet. Let's just do it. I mean, why not? The other little elephant, I don't even remember if there's a name. That's right by Trader Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They do say her name every time.
I keep forgetting.
Oh, man, I can't remember either.
If someone remembers it, let me know. School me. It's all good. So that little elephant, add some more water. Why not? It'd be perfect in the summer. We know it gets really, really warm. Because, you have your covering, but let's just add a little bit more to it. And this was my second little idea that it's just a throwaway idea. Let's give it a Halloween overlay.
Oh, my
Sorry.
God, yes.
And call it the Terror Cruise.
The Terror Cruise?
The lights are off. The lights are off. And let's say you just see red eyes on every animal.
Ooh. That could be cool.
Okay. That actually would be cool. Because then it would be like this weird extrasensory like experience where it's more like one of those like house walkthroughs that they do, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're listening and you're hearing, and then they can have effects like hot air kind of blows on you on one side, and then you see like red lights to symbolize eyes, and you feel like there's like a tiger breathing down your neck almost.
Oh, yeah.
That would be kind of rad, actually.
It would be cool if it was like a silent ride too, where there's no skipper banter. It's just the sound of the motor, and then sometimes the motor cuts out. You drift through the hippo pool, and you see like red eyes coming out of the water, and like it could be really creepy.
I like it.
Coming next October.
If history serves us well, you're right. Coming next October.
Yep.
Hashtag where's my money? That is awesome. Okay. I feel like I should come up with something to plus the Jungle Cruise, but I really like the ideas that you had, so I'm not even going to try to add to that. I think you guys did a great job adding to that attraction. I don't know how people necessarily felt about Aladdin's Oasis. Believe it or not, I never saw it in person. Like many other faraway lands that I experience, I do that on YouTube. So I actually saw the Aladdin's Oasis show on YouTube because, I mean, come on, who wants to travel all the way to Agrabah just to see that, right? I had a very similar concept, except that I didn't want it to be Aladdin themed. What I wanted was a little sing-along, because sometimes all you need are the bare necessities.
Oh.
So what I want is a cool little show with Baloo and Mowgli, and they're just kind of singing bare necessities. They're kind of walking you through some of the songs in the Jungle Book, and then throughout the show, like Kaa comes out, Shere Khan, and so there's some animosity that comes up. There's like a little banter. Just think of like a jungle stage show, basically.
Yes.
And you just kind of get all of these elements where they're kind of retelling the story of the Jungle Book through song and semi-dance, and all these animatronics kind of slithering through. And maybe there's this really cool... I you know how in the live action Jungle Book, there's a shot of Kaa, but Kaa's like super huge and basically engulfs Mowgli? Like, I think it would be absolutely terrifying, but just such a cool effect to have like a projection of Kaa just kind of wrap the entire room that you're sitting in, so it looks like it's about to squeeze everybody. And I'd probably have a heart attack at that point, but how cool would that be? Right?
Oh, man.
So if I could add anything, I mean, it fits the jungle theme, you know, and I don't think that the Jungle Book has a lot of representation in the parks right now, and I think this is a really great way of getting that IP into the parks in a land that I think it belongs in.
Dude, this is...
I love it.
Beepin' genius. I rip out anything you want. Let's do the Jungle Book show. I am there, front and center. Yes, I love this idea.
Nice, thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. All right, Gavin, you're up, man.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you guys know I've talked about it many times on the show. I think I may have come up with a similar idea in another Armchair Imagineering. I can't quite remember, but I think it's high time that Disney got into the escape room game. Charlie and I are big into escape rooms. We love doing them. They're so much fun. And there's no better place than Adventureland to do this. So for the first time ever, guests will be able to enter the mysterious second story above the Adventureland Bazaar. And we're going to have an Indiana Jones themed escape room. All right?
You looked at my notes.
I was about to say,
we always do this.
You looked at my notes. Different location, But you looked at my
proof,
notes.
So
Hilarious.
I will show you.
That's funny. Well, we always do this. That's why I volunteered to go first, by the way, because I've had the rug pulled out from me a couple times. So here we go.
So this is what it feels like.
Right? Exactly. So in mine, you and 5 guests become trapped in a strange chamber where some sort of dark ritual is performed. The nefarious purpose for this ritual is to stop none other than Indiana Jones. So it's our job to follow the clues, solve the puzzles, and outwit this mysterious order of evildoers and their occult devices so our friend Indy can quest on.
Nice.
So I don't know if you guys or our audience have done escape rooms, but one of the coolest things about escape rooms is that they're usually fully themed. They've got a cool story that you're trying to work your way through, and they're just filled with all kinds of, cryptographic, logic, riddle type puzzles that you have to work together to solve. Some of them are tasks that require more than one person. Like, they're really, really creative challenges, and that's what's fun about them. And they can be renewed, so you can install, it's like the Void. You can install a new story to the room, every 6 months or so to keep it new. So with Disney's brand of storytelling and their ability to pull off environmental special effects and, all of that magic they can bring, they could just crush it with an escape room. They really could. And I would love to have kind of, this amazing experience that you could go into Adventureland and like literally escape from the world for a time and, envelop yourself in this escape room world. And, at the end you could get, some sort of like thank you message from Indiana Jones himself after you've succeeded. Maybe there's some little token you walk out with, that shows that you successfully escaped the Adventureland Bazaar. I think this is something I would love to see in Disney, and I'd be amazed if they could bring that to the park.
Yes, times 100. I'm like, yes, yeah, sold. You get all the monies to build. Go, do it.
Thanks.
I love your idea, but I feel like Indiana Jones already has an attraction right across from it, so maybe this is the time to whip out the Gravity Falls and make an escape room based on Gravity Falls.
Yeah, I hear you. To me, and I thought of Gravity Falls, but it doesn't fit the theming of Adventureland. And I got to tell you, Indiana Jones is the man, and I'm not done yet bringing us Indiana Jones ideas tonight, so buckle up.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was going to throw in some Rescue Rangers, but whatever.
I mean, that could be cool, too.
I'm kidding about that.
Jeez.
That's awesome. Oh, man, I love that idea so much. Okay, Mel, I can't wait to hear yours now because mine is actually very different. It kind of has escape room elements to it, but I'll get to mine when I get to mine. But Mel, let's hear your idea.
Okay, so I was like holding on to every comment while you were talking, Gavin, because it's like, oh my gosh, that's the one thing I would love to do. But mine is actually going to take place inside the temple.
Nice.
Because I am that weirdo that has always wanted, this is what sparked it. I always wanted to be evac'd right off the bridge, right in front of that face. I'm like, one day, can I just get off that Jeep and just walk and
that's like the ultimate selfie.
That's my dream on every attraction, and it's never happened to me once.
So what I thought about was a escape room, but kind of like remember when they had the Juju adventure at D23 and then they brought it over to Disneyland?
Yeah.
I thought of something like that, putting it together. That way, you're kind of guaranteed to still do everything. Because sometimes, some of us may take a little bit longer or it may be a little difficult. So I kind of wanted to make it a little easier. So I would love to just be able to go through the entire attraction and do, this kind of like the escape room or the scavenger hunt put together. And we're not going to have the Jeeps running. Let's say it's a night that they're not doing this, like an off night. You know how they recently
Oh, you're
had
actually having it in the actual attraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So to have that, well, I should have said this. Let's expand the temple so we could go like into each little scene that we see, like with the skeleton army or the snake area or the rat room, and kind of build a little bit more so that we have corridors that we could walk through. The one thing I would love to do throughout this whole thing, this would be my highlight. If we had a walkway that went over the Jeep area that goes behind Mara's face.
Oh, yeah.
And let's say we have a walkway that goes right through, right where his eyes, and we could see that whole area through his eyes.
No.
Wow.
That would be ridiculous.
That's something I've been wanting to do forever, is to see from that angle. So I'm like, why don't we do this? And that could be the highlight. That could be where you get everything done, and then you're on your way. The one thing I forgot to mention is how we would go in. You know how you're in line, you're in queue, you keep going into the rotunda, and that's the round room where you see the mural up on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how you see the stairs on the walls, and they kind of like go up, but they don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we had stairs that went up? We go up there, and then we start from there. And then travel all the way through around. Yeah.
So the next overnight experience that will be a $300 ticket event will be a walk through Indiana Jones.
I'm sorry for the ticket. I was expecting like 10.
No, I'm saying that this is going to be an actual Disney thing with a $300 ticket, because this is an awesome idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be so cool to see that attraction, like be able to like stand still and really just absorb all the detail, because it is one of the greatest, most well-themed attractions they've ever done. You know, it's crazy that it's as old as it is at this point, because it still delivers. So yeah, like getting some of those vantage points, like just to be able to walk across that bridge in front of the face of Mara, like, dude,
right?
What? What? That would be ridiculous.
I like it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that $300 ticket coming next August. So good. I love it. All right, sign up. Let's give Mel some of that building money.
Yay.
Take some of it. Start building. Start expanding. Okay, so for my next idea, I want to bring a little bit back of what's been lost at Adventureland. And that is, I want to bring back some Aladdin-themed entertainment.
Ooh.
Aladdin,
okay.
I think, is a huge property for Disney. Even bigger, in my opinion, than Tarzan.
That's not opinion. That's fact, brother.
Okay,
I agree.
Well, I'm glad you guys agree. So the first thing that's going is that treehouse.
Bye.
Dude.
My idea, and this kind of ties into why I was talking about Aladdin's Oasis earlier, because in the videos that I've seen, I actually saw it in person. I just never saw the show that was there. The Cave of Wonders stage was absolutely beautiful. I loved the entrance to the Cave of Wonders on that stage. So my idea is to create a live Cave of Wonders where the treehouse currently stands that has an escape room element to it. This was actually inspired by some of the stuff that we get to do at Galaxy's Edge. I think one of the coolest additions to Galaxy's Edge is the data pad. And because of the fact that you can interact with the land and do things, you can gain all of these points, I think Disney can build on that and give you some kind of incentive for playing this game, right? So my idea is to create a Cave of Wonders semi-escape room where using the app you're given tasks and you can't advance through the entire Cave of Wonders until you finish these particular tasks. And throughout the way, you're seeing old man Jafar, not like Jafar, like old man, like, give me the lamp,
creepy.
give me the lamp, you know, like old man Jafar trying to like guide you. He's like your guide through this Cave of Wonders, right? And as you get closer and closer to finding the genie and the lamp, like you start to see more of the elements of what makes Jafar Jafar, and occasionally you'll hear Iago and he'll be like, quiet bird or something, right? And the entire premise is that you have to maneuver through the Cave of Wonders to find the lamp. Now, where the app comes into play is that it keeps track of the things that you've done. And I think Disney can come up with like a beginner level, an expert level, and like an insane level, right? Where each level has harder and harder tasks. So if you've already done it, you have the opportunity to go through again. And if you're doing it with friends, certain tasks will require multiple people, you know, to maybe touch 2 rupees on the walls in a certain formation in order to get a cave wall to open or something like that.
That's
you know,
cool.
So at the end, obviously, you get the lamp, you get the genie, you see a cool big old projection of the genie saying, "Congratulations, you made it all the way through. Please exit to your right."
Applause.
Yeah, applause, right? And the carpet flies around. You walk outside, and Genie's waiting for you with Aladdin and Jasmine for a photo op. And that is what I would put in the place of the current treehouse, which I think is kind of a waste of space at this point.
I freaking love it. I love that you are a classic Whovian, because you'd have to like have a TARDIS right there to have enough space. But I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that theming is fan-freaking-tastic, and that would make for an incredible escape room. I mean, let's just make a whole series of escape rooms. Why the heck not?
Let's do it.
For reals. And that's the whole point about Adventureland, is just adventures. So why not have as many? I mean, keep going.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, let's just push Adventureland out like into the Esplanade. We don't need an Esplanade for anything. Like, that's just wasted space, man.
Oh, that's so funny.
Right over Jungle Cruise.
Disneyland's going to become like a series of skyscrapers. Like, you can't build around it. You're just going to have to build up. And in order to get the illusion, or down. And in order to get the illusion of land around you, like all the sides of the walls are basically just screens that are showing you like sky across the on the other side of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, Gavin, what's your third one?
All right, my final idea. So it's time Adventureland got a classy table service restaurant.
Ooh,
tablecloths, bone-handled silverware, and exotic food and drink from around the world.
It's located... You've been looking at my notes, sir.
It's located just a short boat ride downriver and sits in the shadow of the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Your host, none other than retired famed archaeologist Indiana Jones. Welcome to Juniors.
Okay.
Wow.
So this is going to be a classy joint, right? This is going to be a reservation-only special experience. The way that you're going to get to this restaurant is you're going to board a special boat at the Jungle Cruise dock and take a private cruise through the rivers, and you will disembark with a safari guide in the African savannah, where you will trek through the jungle to the location of this restaurant. So part of my plussing of the Jungle Cruise will also include this new dock and disembarkment section. So only the people in this restaurant boat will disembark here, and then you'll follow your guide through the animals and through the jungle. If you look at a aerial photo, like a satellite image of the park, and you look at Adventureland, just south of the Jungle Cruise, the southernmost point of Jungle Cruise is the African Savannah section. And if you were to jump the berm from there, you'd be just to the east of the building for the Temple of the Forbidden Eye and the Indiana Jones adventure. And there's this little triangle of land between there and the picnic area that is big enough for a large-scale restaurant to sit. And it would be themed as if you were entering the temple from just a different angle, like a different doorway. Like in the ride, we enter from the front door, let's say, and this is entering like from the side door. So it'd be themed on the temple, but you would enter inside and it'd be a very elegant, like 1940s era restaurant, shades of Club Obi-Wan. And, Indy would be your host. There'd be jazzy music. And, it would just be a nice sit-down experience. You kind of have the transportation intro where you take a little cruise, you take a little trek, and you enter the restaurant. You have a cool, elegant dinner, and then you get to trek back through the jungle, board a boat, and then cruise back to civilization. So you get the attraction in two halves. You get a dinner experience with all kinds of Indiana Jones theming. It'll be filled with artifacts from his adventures. And I think it would be just a really cool, memorable experience that you could create by doing this. I think it could be, like reservations would be booked way in advance because it would, obviously be very popular, I think. And but if you got the chance to go, it would be a really cool experience and memory that you could make there.
Yes.
I should have went first.
Yes. And yes.
That's all I'm saying.
So I have a bit of an honorable mention. I didn't end up going with a restaurant idea for my third one, but once Mel goes with her next one, I'll tell you what my idea was. Because it kind of plays into all of what you're saying, but there was a little bit extra magic that I wanted to bring into my version of my restaurant. So, but
nice.
I love the idea of embarking on a 3-hour cruise. The tiny ship gets tossed. You like undock, and then you don't know if you're coming back after you have this dinner, right? You're gonna be making radios out of coconuts and stuff. Like,
yeah, Gilligan's there and like the Globetrotters, and you don't know what's going on.
I love it though.
It's hilarious.
I love the fact that it's like hidden, that it's secluded. Like people that don't know about Club 33 now, they pass by Rue Royale and they kind of see these buildings and they see movement, but they don't necessarily know what it is. But this one, like, it's so exclusive that it's so hidden. You can't even see it from anywhere in the park. I love it. I love the fact that it's just out of sight.
Well, and just think about the themed food opportunities that you have. So imagine Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that feast that they have in India with snake surprise and chilled monkey brains. Dude, they could bring it with this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Even like you could have an appetizer of like good dates, so that that they're not poisoned bad dates.
Yeah.
They could go all out with the cool themed foods for this. They could have signature drinks. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for theming top to bottom.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm game, and I'm so gonna send you a picture of my notes because, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, oh my goodness. I love it though. I do.
Cool.
I think it's awesome.
Thanks.
All right, well, let's hear your version now.
Well, mine would actually be called Eye on the World, which
nice.
is a take from Eye of the World, which is a spoof from the reels.
Mm-hmm.
And my location would actually be the very top of the temple.
Okay.
And I see this as an open area, but it would blend so well to the temple itself that whatever you would see would look like it belongs onto it originally. And I actually saw this as a speakeasy lounge.
Ooh.
And
we'll call it Tip Top Temple.
right? What started this was the ladder that you see in the entrance.
Yep.
And I've always wondered, what if you could take that ladder and just go up, go on top? To think about the view and everything, that area there would be like you could overlook, of course, Adventureland to the castle. You would have prime viewing for fireworks. And the one way you would get up is you would have to find the other artifact that's around the temple. And the passwords would be your reservation, because not everybody could go up there because it's going to be limited in space, of course. But we're going to expand. And I was thinking about that area, the picnic area. I was like, nah, gone, bye. It's done. We need all the space. And I'm not going to touch Jungle Cruise because it'd be nice to look down on it. I mean, I think it'd be great. So this is what I would love to see is you would see the artifact and then you would touch it or ring the bell. And then the door suddenly just opens, like it slides open, just like in the Temple of Doom, where no. Wait, yes it is.
Yeah.
Yes it is.
Yeah.
Where I'm thinking about where Willie and Indy are lost, but they're like right there, right where that wall is. So what if it did that, and then you go in? It's an elevator. It takes you all the way to the top, and on top, you know how we have the tiki masks all over tiki rooms. So I was thinking the skeleton army as of like guards and have them on every corner, and the inside, like it would be, you would have your, I would love this too. You would have your mural or your tile, like mural of Mara, and just like how you would see in the entrance as soon as you walk in, you would have your artifacts. I was thinking of like the snake column that's broken, a globe, this and that, little things that would kind of be like, oh, you would find this in, Dr. Jones' office. And I loved what you said, and I wrote it down. Chilled monkey brains. I mean, who wouldn't want that? I mean, you've seen all that stuff. Let's make it happen. I love the music that they play all around Adventureland, from Glenn Miller to just regular stuff. But let's say we hear like little interruptions from Sala. And, from time to time, let's say Sala comes in saying that he's seen something happen, or, fireworks are going to happen at this time, or however they would, say it. I don't think they would say fireworks. There's wordage that I haven't come up with yet. That kind of a mood and whatnot to just chill and relax to. And I think it'd be fun. You dress up to the nines, go up there, have a, one day maybe a drink. I don't know. Maybe Disney might expand to Adventureland. You never know. Just saying. Disney listens.
Wow.
But that's been one of my like wildest just ideas since becoming a huge fan of the attraction is, what if we could go up there and just do this? So that's there is so much about that idea that I love, and like the whole time you're talking, like my brain is cranking. And the one thing that I personally would want to add to just kind of the mystique and the secrecy and everything, instead of a password for a reservation, what do you think about when you make your reservation, the app or your phone, it says like Mara appears on your screen, right? And it says, hold your device to your face so I may see who you are. And then it just like scans your face, right? It takes your picture. And so when you get to the restaurant, there's Mara on the wall, and very similar to like at the Magic Castle, right? Like when you enter, you have to say like these magic words to enter itself. Like you have to stand in front of Mara, and if somebody else is there that's in your group and it's not the person that made the reservation,
that person would go up to Mara, and then you start seeing lightning and like the lights flicker because it's not the right person on the reservation. But until the right person comes up, it says access has been granted. Welcome, like whoever the person is, right? And then the doors open and you can actually walk into the temple lounge, currently called the Tip Top Lounge. I mean, that would possibly be like one thing I would want to add to that, but I love the idea of just chilling at the top of the temple like that.
That'd be cool. I go just to see all that lightning.
You dare look into the eyes of Mara. What do you expect? A meal?
I mean, I think any Indiana Jones you can add, is awesome. And having all these experiences.
Even the Crystal Skull?
I mean,
we don't speak of that.
Look, we're all. I feel like we're all Indiana Jones people. Certainly, Melissa and I definitely are. And in some ways, I kind of feel like a little defensive. I feel like Star Wars is getting a little too much love, and like Indiana Jones, man, that's like my favorite LucasArts thing, right? It's by far, like, I love Indiana Jones. So anything we can bring to expand that presence of that property is like awesome. I really dig like that we've got many ideas here that are expanding the presence of Indiana Jones, because he's iconic. Like when you think about the genre of like adventure film, Indiana Jones is the bar. Like that is the bar. There's nothing better than Indiana Jones. There's a lot of great adventure films out there, both before and after Indiana Jones. But Indiana Jones is it, man. It is the best. Oh, yeah. So, like, capitalizing on that, reconnecting with the romance and mystery and, the stuff that really turned George Lucas and Steven Spielberg on is that you can't lose, man. You just can't lose. It's so good.
But Gavin, how dare you expand Adventureland with an IP and not an original Disney idea?
Well, because that's where we are today. I mean, it already has its own perfect non-IP ideas, right? Jungle Cruise is iconic. Tiki Room is iconic. They're iconic for a reason, because they're wonderfully imagined genre pieces that aren't tied to a specific property, right? But Indiana Jones is this iconic thing as well. So, why not expand it? I think you could expand to more Jungle Cruise if you wanted, but I think we have enough Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Oh, man, so many good things. Okay. Oh, man, I feel like if I don't bring it with this last one, especially since it's not Indiana Jones.
It's okay.
Somebody's got to win the bronze medal.
Yeah, that's true. It might as well be me.
I don't know, man. With that Jungle Book musical idea, like, you might win this week.
It's at least silver. It's at least silver and a half. That's worth tuppence. Okay, so I feel like I've had a very similar idea to this, but I feel like it's very appropriate now to put it in Adventureland. And we kind of joked about this, I think, last year when we were talking about Halloween stuff and coming up with like experiences like they have in Hong Kong, and the idea of plussing the Tiki Room and calling it the Freaky Room came up, right? Mm-hmm. And so we had talked about like adding these shadows and adding a little bit of Moana flair to the Tiki Room in a way where it didn't necessarily interfere with the original Tiki Room attraction, but added the additional Polynesian elements and added a little bit more Moana to the attraction. Now, I liked it at the time. I still think there might be a way to incorporate that, but I'm also kind of a purist when it comes to the Tiki Room. Maybe adding the projections and maybe plussing it in a way where, they update the birds and stuff like that to look a little bit better. But in its essence, I feel like the Tiki Room needs to remain the Tiki Room. So instead, I want to get rid of the bazaar because there's already enough gift shops at Disneyland. Like, I want to repurpose that entire building. I know. You can move the stuff and sell it somewhere else.
But it's so cool.
I know, but you can sell that stuff. You can sell it somewhere else. You know what?
You can't sell Indiana Jones whips anywhere else, my friend.
You totally can. Totally can.
We'll expand the temple.
ShopDisney.com, hashtag not sponsored.
Here we go again. The claw.
So, and you know what? Speaking on that, if we did take all of that out, it would be kind of sad because the bazaar actually still has handcrafted items from around the world for sale, and it is the only location in Disneyland that has really unique elements like that. So I would be sad about losing that, but ShopDisney.com, hashtag not sponsored. Anyway, so here's what I would do. I would repurpose that building, and I would build a Moana 4D experience. When you enter the attraction, you're essentially entering a cave, the same way that Moana finds her way into the cave where all of the boats of her ancestors were hidden because they were so afraid of the water that they didn't know what to do with it. So now you are a part of the tribe, and you are finding these boats for the very first time with Moana. Similar to like on Star Tours, you have C-3PO and, you know, R2-D2 and stuff. You would have Moana like at the drums welcoming you, kind of like Hondo, also, you know, on Smuggler's
Nice.
Run. And Moana would be, oh, welcome. As you can see, I found all of these boats of my ancestors, but I don't know exactly what to do. I need your help. So she bangs on this drum, right? And you feel the wind, everything lights up, and everyone is now sitting, like the attraction is you are sitting on these boats. Right? And so now you are a wayfinder. And so everything around you is the ocean. And the entire adventure is like rocking you up and down, side to side. They're using the same type of motion technology that they have in Star Tours to like move your boat in every single direction. But the entire room is a projection of the ocean. And so the idea is that Moana turns around and she says, my people need us to return the Eye of Te Fiti in order for us to be able to live in prosperity and our island won't die. And so now you're on this adventure, right? And along the way, you're going through the waves and you're splashing. And the 4D part is because they start splashing you with water from all over the place, right? Like, it's in my eye. And so you're like going through the ocean and Tamatoa comes up. And then steals the Eye of Te Fiti and says, ooh, because it's shiny and you're never going to see this thing again. And, like, he swims away, right? And so as he's swimming away, Moana starts like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? And then, boom, up comes Maui's like, oh, humans. Like, again, here I am trying to save you like I roped the sun in the sky. And I did all these other things. And she's like, stop, we just need to get the Eye of Te Fiti back. He's like, okay. Fine. So then he uses the shark hook to try to get Tamatoa, and like there's this huge adventure that's happening. You get pulled underwater by the giant crab thing. It's like Tamatoa's a crab, right? That's yeah, or like a lobster. Whatever.
It's like
whatever.
A crab demigod.
Like a weird hybrid crab lobster thing. Crab, yeah, sure.
He's mostly crab.
So, yeah, so you get dragged down into the depths of wherever like Tamatoa lives, and then all of a sudden you get the Eye of Te Fiti back and you're pulled up by the giant light stingray that's the grandmother, right? And you're pulled right back up to shore. And so you start going down the ocean again, and you finally replace, like, you get to the lava monster, and so everything goes dark, and the lava monster just kind of engulfing the entire, like, screen and the entire attraction, and the boats are just rocking, like, what's going on? What are we gonna do? And so finally, like, Maui and Moana kind of do this, like, thing where they jump up and they return the eye, and then everything just kind of clears up, and the water settles down, and then you're propelled forward to the island and you see everything start kind of growing life again. And that's pretty much the end of the attraction. They start singing, and throughout the attraction, you get an opportunity to hear different versions of We Know the Way and How Far I Go. And so Moana 4D.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. Can we just add Hey Hey?
Oh my God, yes. Hey Hey's going to be like at the entrance, just like pecking away at a rock.
Hey Hey's understood. Hey, Moana doesn't exist without Hey Hey. So you probably have to take over the Frontierland Mercantile too. Like, I feel like an attraction this size needs that entire building. So, ouch.
The
that
facade
hurts.
would remain the same. The facade would remain the same.
Man, that hurts. But no, I like the idea. I really do. I kind of wish there was an actual like new area for more of the like tropical tales. Like, I feel like Adventureland has some tropicality to it, but it's much more like jungle, rainforest, like that kind of thing, you know? Like, I would love it if we had an area where we could do like Moana and Lilo and Stitch, you know, and like the more tropical like island flair, like kind of like maybe an ancillary like offshoot of Adventureland. Like maybe that's what we chop up the Esplanade and add is like an island land. I think that'd be cool. I really dig this idea. I think it could be really cool. You know, it's all of the simulators that we have are almost always flying simulators, you know, like Smuggler's Run and Star Tours, and even with a rudimentary simulator like Peter Pan, it's always flying, right? Yeah. It's rarely boat simulators. So that's why I like this one, because it's got a unique twist to it. And I think that's super exciting. I think Moana is one of the greatest tales they've told in this century so far. And it has amazing characters. So this could be really, really captivating. I like this idea a lot.
Thanks.
I do too.
Well, thank you.
I'm just listening to you while you're talking about everything, and I'm just like so excited. And you heard when you had to mention Grandma Toddler just appears. I'm like, yes, please.
Oh, gosh.
That would be amazing and just heartwarming.
That's like all the feels hit you right there.
All the feels. Yep.
All the feels.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my honorable mention for the restaurant, because I started workshopping this as one of my original ideas, like to make it like my first idea that we threw out. And ultimately, I threw it out. I don't even remember why. Oh, because I wanted to use that space for Moana 4D. Anyway, so the idea was, if you guys are familiar with Downtown Disney, in Anaheim, there is a restaurant franchise called Rainforest Cafe. I think Rainforest Cafe, or it doesn't exist at all anymore?
Correct. It was closed many months ago now.
The restaurant was closed, but does the franchise still exist?
Oh, the franchise still exists, yeah.
Okay,
but,
great.
Yeah, the restaurant in Downtown Disney has been closed for a while.
Right. When they were going to do the hotel and everything, right? They closed that, and the Espen Zone, and the Amp Theater and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea would be to bring the similarities of Rainforest Cafe into a dining experience in the bazaar area. So basically convert that entire thing into a sit-down restaurant with like vines and everything. And it got me thinking of that episode of Parks and Rec where they go to Jurassic Fork. Right? And they're like, oh, yeah, I would like my meat, you know, and they try to throw out these like punny jokes about how they want the meat cooked. And the server's like, oh, we're not allowed to joke about the meat rarity for legal reasons. Yeah. You know, so like you still get like Jungle Cruise skipper type humor as your servers. And you have the entire jungle experience that Rainforest Cafe gave you, but now you have that experience inside of the park, and you have an extra dining area, which we know Disneyland always needs. But this would be a lot fancier plates. It wouldn't be just like meat on a stick or vegetables on a stick like at Bengal Barbecue. Like,
okay, wait. You are talking disparagingly about Bengal Barbecue, which is the most delicious joint in the entire land.
No, I'm not.
I love
the Bengal barbecue. I would
Okay.
actually leave the Bengal barbecue there for fast food. But
All right,
this
just
would be
watch it.
next to it. But this would be next to it and would serve full plates. Like it would
Okay,
be a sit-down restaurant. So you would need
All
a
right.
reservation and everything. But I love Bengal barbecue.
Okay,
but what I'm
good.
saying is it's just not going to be food on a stick is what I'm saying.
All right.
By the way, did either one of you know that the story behind the Bengal barbecue is that supposedly lightning hit it and it hollowed out some tree and it started a fire and now they're just using the fire to cook food?
No.
Yeah,
Nope.
apparently
That's
that's kind
awesome.
of like the backstory that's been assigned to the Bengal barbecue.
I dig it. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's going to wrap up Armchair Imagineering for this month. We hope that you've enjoyed our ideas. We always have fun, obviously, just kind of flexing the gray matter to try to come up with new ways to plus up these different attractions, these different lands at Disneyland. And if there was one that you particularly liked, tell me that you liked my idea in the comments section down on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or in the blog post for this episode over at podketeers.com/279. We'd love to hear your thoughts on anything that we talked about. Or if you have your own idea that you'd like to share on how you would plus up Adventureland, join the conversation and tell us about it as well. Hey, if you guys purchase on Amazon, Black Friday is coming. Remember that if you like to purchase, a really great way to support the podcast is by going to podketeers.com/Amazon before any of your purchases, especially during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Amazon Prime Day, whatever. Podketeers.com/Amazon. Hit the big Amazon button, and that'll take you to Amazon. It's not going to cost you anything extra, but we do get a small commission from Amazon from your purchase because you went through our link, and that helps us out a lot with the cost of the podcast and all that stuff. So to everyone that's already using the Podketeers Amazon link, we just want to send a huge thank you for all of your support. And that's going to wrap it up. So until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
No time for love, Dr. Jones. We got company.
Well done.